Hi guys, Robin46 here, welcome yourselves back to Ride 2 and Valentino Rossi The Game, because obviously from the title you would have read already, we are doing a bike comparison video, but today we're comparing it across two games because we are going to be comparing the road-going Yamaha R1 against the racing version of the Yamaha R1 against the MotoGP full factory Yamaha M1, which inspired the newer R1s. So that's a plan for this video. We will compare the stats of the road gun version of the R1 and the racing R1. We can't compare it to the MotoGP bike just because the Valentino Rossi The Game didn't actually have bike stats in it. It just had a little bar at the top, which if it was full, you knew you're on a decent bike, and if it wasn't, then you know you went on a full factory bike. So let's have a look at the road-going R1. Of course, this is fully upgraded, so maximum horsepower is 243.4 horsepower, maximum torque is 134.5, displacement 998cc, cylinders for weight 174.8 kilograms, and then acceleration is 9.4, braking power 9.3, top speed 9.4, and handling is 9. Top PP once fully upgraded is 971. Now we won't do a side-by-side comparison to the racing version because there's a few things missing from that one, but let's have a look at it anyway. So pretty much the left-hand side of the stats are missing or not available. The only things that are there are the displacement and cylinders, which are exactly the same as the road gun version, 998cc 4 cylinders. But everything on the right hand side is better than the road gun version. Acceleration is 9.8, braking power 9.9, top speed 9.7, and handling is 9.8. And of course this is an R1 category bike, so you would expect it to be better than the road gun version of the bike as well. Let's go over and start this with the road going Yamaha R1. Now obviously this is going to be kind of predictable in which order they're going to finish, which is going to be the quickest bike, which is going to be the slowest bike. That's going to be obvious to everyone. But what I do want to see is the lap times and compare them to see how close or how far apart they actually are. Because as we know, over the years, super bikes have been catching up to MotoGP bikes pretty quickly. I know that a few years ago, the World Superbike grid, a lot of their riders and bikes were pretty much on pace with MotoGP bikes, hence why Dorna kind of brought in new rules to superbikes just to slow them down a little bit. But as we saw at the test at Jerez at the end of last year, it was Jonathan Rea on the factory Kawasaki in the World Superbikes that ended up quickest ahead of lots of MotoGP bikes. Wasn't any of the factory bikes there, but or factory teams I should say. But Jonathan Rea was quicker than a lot of experienced MotoGP riders on MotoGP bikes. So something that over the years, obviously, like I said, the super bikes have been getting closer. Then they kind of started getting a bit slower when new rules were introduced. But my quickest time on the road gun R1 was a 127.166. Now we'll go over and have a look at the racing version of the bike. Again at Donington, see what we can do with this bike. I have noticed that this the race gun version, doesn't actually wheelie as much or want to wheelie as much as the road gun version of the bike, which I thought was a bit strange, but it definitely feels quicker. Like I said, we know pretty much what to expect in terms of results. It's just looking at lap times. So we've got to be a 127.166. Pretty sure we're going to do that, but by how much will we do that? Of course, it's quite a short lap around Donington as well, so it's not going to take too long to go through all 3 laps. I'm only going to be showing my quickest laps as well. And don't worry, when it comes to the MotoGP bike, I did have to do a few laps just to kind of bed myself back into the game, because I haven't actually played the game for a little while now. So yeah, I had to get used to it again. It didn't really take too much getting used to again, just because it feels very similar to Ride 2. If anything, it feels a bit more difficult than Ride 2. With Ride 2, you can really throw the bikes around and don't have to worry too much, but you get a bit more movement in Valentino Rossi The Game. But obviously, we'll be seeing that lap in a minute. So we come to the end of this lap. So 127.166 is what we've got beat. 125.399. So best part 2 seconds quicker than the road gun version of the R1. And now it's time for the big boy, Yamaha M1 at Donington on Valentino Rossi The Game. Let's see what we're going to do. Now already you can see a time there of a 124.266, and this is going to be my quickest lap time. So already that lap time is quicker than the racing version of the R1. Gonna on par to equal our time at the moment. Like I said, I did have to do a few laps just to get used to the physics again of this game, because they are a bit less forgiving than Ride 2. But started getting used to it again, and we're ready to do a really quick lap. So we're 0.4 quicker at the moment, so we're looking into the 123s at the moment. Let's see if I can keep that to the line, into the foggy S's. There is a slight difference in the track between both games, and that is pretty much the last corner. On this game, it's quite downhill compared to Ride 2. You see we've lost a bit of time there. We've lost quite a bit of time, almost half a second. Can we bring that back in the final corner now? So it's almost blind gun into there on this game, whereas Ride 2 is relatively flat. Here we go, coming to the line. 124.199. So yes, it is quicker than the now when I've done that lap, it's not actually that much quicker than the race going R1, but I was kind of thinking maybe it was me, so I thought maybe I should go and check out the leaderboard to see where my lap time actually is, because my previous best around Donington was a 127, because I didn't really play on Donington that much on this game. But we're going to go over and look at the leaderboards now, because I didn't actually expect my time to be second in the world, just behind a standard physics user who done a 124.012. Us on the Yamaha, I managed to do a 124.199, which, like I said, put us second in the world. I wasn't actually expecting to be anywhere near the top, because I wasn't really feeling that confident. And of course, I wasn't using any setups whatsoever, and I didn't change the brakes either, so didn't have the best brakes on, and just the default setting for the Yamaha M1. So here are the final lap times. Obviously in third place, as you would expect, is the road gun version of the Yamaha R1 of a 127.166. Just under 2 seconds quicker is its racing counterpart, the racing version of the R1 of a 125.399, 1.8 quicker than the standard R1. And then in first place, as you'd expect again, is the full factory Yamaha M1 with a 124.199. So 1.2 seconds quicker than the racing version of the R1. Not a huge difference. Obviously 1.2 seconds is going to be quite considerably quicker during a race. Yeah, lap times not a huge amount different. The biggest difference is obviously between the standard R1 and the racing R1. But yeah, the MotoGP bike not a million miles away. A bit like in real life, the super bikes again are catching up to MotoGP bikes, and in some cases even quicker than MotoGP bikes. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to do today, guys. Like I said, we couldn't use Nürburgring because it wasn't in Valentino Rossi The Game, and MotoGP didn't go there. So we had to settle for Donington. It would have been nice to be able to do a wet comparison, because I think it may be even closer still, because obviously we won't be able to use the full power of the MotoGP bike, and be able to use the standard R1 a bit more in the wet. But anyway guys, that is it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel for more content. And I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!